Has it stopped? Has it all stopped yet? Please tell me it stopped. It stopped, right? Has the bombardment stopped? Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we can... conduct this in some sort of peace. Bombardments everywhere. Everywhere. It hasn't stopped for the last 12 hours. We've just had bombardments everywhere. World War VI has kicked off around here. Not even World War III. What in the blue hell has happened in the last few hours? Unflipping believable. Now we're going to try and get some of a consensus here, because this is not just with one story. Multiple fronts, I'm telling you. We've got people getting sacked. We've got all sorts happening today. It's unbelievable. So let's get into it. Let's get into what has transpired, right? Let's try and bring some understanding. Because some people are saying, oh, we've lost out. How can you lose something that you didn't enter in the first place? That's my problem. How have we not entered? I don't understand. I don't understand. Let's get into what has gone down. So, I'm going to show you this in chronological order, and then we're going to paint the picture, and then we're going to go from there. Right. So, here's David Ornstein earlier on in the early hours of the morning. This. Xavi Simons has completed medical before moving to Tottenham Hotspur from Leipzig. €60 million deal agreed club to club, plus personal terms done for 22-year-old attacker to join Tottenham, pending final details being sorted between Dutch International and Leipzig. Right. Then we started getting some detail. Philipp Hinze in Germany said Chelsea have a few hours to submit an offer for Xavi Simons. Simons has completed his Tottenham medical as a precaution. No signatures yet. This guy, Willian 2.0 was right there. Willian 2.0 was right there. We would have finished Tottenham Football Club as a whole. They would have had to liquidate if we'd done it again to them. Yeah, if we had done it again. He went and done his medical and went, no, I'm not signing. Wait. Are Chelsea alive or what? No? Like, one sec, lad. Can we try like one last time, please? Or if not, I'm going to have to sign. I can't keep them waiting. The medical's been done. We were that close. We were that close. If we really wanted it, we could have actually got... Imagine he's done the medical and then we actually call. And we're like, you know what? No, we're going to match the offer. Make your way to Stamford Bridge. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Expressions would have fallen off a cliff. Tobes would have gone on a punch-up throughout North London. He'd probably be in prison right now. Because he would have flipping, I don't know, he would have probably smashed the heads in of 20 people at once. What we could have done would have been seismic. Oh my God, it would have been seismic. Which is just showing exactly what's happened here. Chelsea haven't moved. Chelsea have gone... Well, yeah, we could have the plays right here if we want him. We could just done. We're just not going to. Nah. We've agreed with the player. He's sat right there. We can take him if we want, but I don't feel it, lads. I don't feel it. No? You're not feeling it? Not feeling it? We've had him here all summer, just looking at him, just... Nah. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is baffling me. If we didn't want the player, why have we teased him for this long? It's actually a bit unjust on Xavi Simons, to be honest. Let's get into more. Florian Plettenberg. If Chelsea do not submit an offer in the next few hours, Xavi Simons is now set for a move to Tottenham. Tottenham reached an agreement in principle with Leipzig, 60 million guaranteed plus significant sell-on clause, bringing the package close to the 70 million euros, no add-ons. Medical already completed for Xavi with Spurs. Contracts are being prepared in the background now. Xavi has not yet signed the contract. Unbelievable. He was on a plate. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And we got the secret scout confirming this. He was waiting for the call. Tottenham called. Chelsea in the end didn't. So this isn't Tottenham beat Chelsea to the play. No. Tottenham were in a one-horse race in the end. Tottenham showed up to the race and there was no one alongside them to compete. But if Chelsea had shown up, Tottenham would probably just go, you know what, we're not going to start. We're just going to go back into the pits because it's not really a race, is it? You know, it's different when you got two clubs moving for the player and then one beats the other. Chelsea didn't show up. We had the player on a string for weeks, yeah? We agreed personal terms with the player, which shows that we want the player. So why didn't we move for the player? This is what's baffling me. This is why I said yesterday at the end. If this doesn't happen, it's not on anyone else. It's not on Tottenham beating us, or it's not on anyone else's fault, or it's Chelsea. Chelsea have themselves and only themselves to look at and blame. But they're not going to do that because they've made the decision to not move for the player. Why? This is what's crazy. Why? This is such a weird scenario. We agreed personal terms. We got everything done. All we had to do in the end was place a bid. We've been waiting and we didn't say, no, you know what? We're not moving for you. We're not moving for you. If we'd done that, this would have been resolved. But we waited until now to just go, no, you know what? We won't. Why? Why? Have we seen something like this before? This is baffling. But since Chelsea then done that, we had the official confirmation. Here it is. Xavi Simons to Tottenham, here we go. All signed between Spurs and Leipzig for fee worth 60 million euros fixed after agreement revealed overnight. Xavi has completed his medical and his contract is also now signed. Contract until 2030 plus 2-year option. Unbelievable. David Ornstein then says Xavi Simons signs contract at Tottenham Hotspur ahead of move from RB Leipzig. Deal for 22-year-old attacker to 2030 with option to extend by 2 years. Dutch international finalising exit terms with Leipzig after Tottenham agreed 60 million euro price plus personal terms. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. So what happened? Let's get into this because we've had things starting to kick off. Here's Matt Law trying to explain what went down. There's no intention at Chelsea's end to try and hijack Spurs and Simons. No formal bid and have other targets. Bridges have been built in the relationship between Chelsea and Spurs over recent years and there's no desire to demolish them now. But we don't do business with Spurs. I don't understand that one. That makes absolutely no sense to me. We don't do business with Spurs. They don't do business with us. What bridge are we trying to build here? There is no bridge. Unless it's going to come to a point when we start buying players from Spurs and they try to start buying players from us. If they do, flipping sell them at triple the price. It's Tottenham. We don't do business with Tottenham. Chelsea are moving in a direction where we're going to start trying to do business with Tottenham or trying to build that bridge. I couldn't care less about a bridge. That's not the problem here. The problem isn't about destroying or building a bridge. Yeah. The problem is that we just didn't want Xavi Simons in the end after making it look like for weeks that we did. And it's not like, oh, you know what? It's a guessing game. We agreed personal terms with the player. We wanted the player to then not move for him. This is the whole point. The whole point is that this is Chelsea U-turning on a decision that looked like they were going to make and then just went, nah, you know what? We don't feel like it. Why? Well, one of those reasons seems to be that Chelsea might have someone else in the pipeline. But what baffles me with this is we've spent weeks with Simons to now 3 days before the end of the window to go, we might have something else. And it's not who you think either. This is the whole thing. If it was who you think, then we've heard for the last few days, that would kind of make sense. But it's not. And here's what I mean. Matt Law's already said there could be other targets. Here's Fabrizio. I think there might be some surprise name for Chelsea. I'm not sure Fermin Lopez wants to leave Barca despite reports. So, Fermin Lopez might not even be leaving the club. So what's going on? Here's more. Goes on to say, so there might be some surprise name for Chelsea. As I said last night, I don't think the world is ending with Lopez or Simons. I think there could be some other name. 3 days before the end of the window. This is what's baffling me here. 3 days, we've just shifted completely. And to who? Some of you seem to think Morgan Rogers. We were linked with Morgan Rogers long before. It was made clear that he wasn't leaving Aston Villa. The only way that I see something happening with Morgan Rogers now is if Nicholas Jackson heads to Aston Villa, which is just nothing's developed on that front whatsoever. It's still Bayern Munich. And I'm going to come to that in a sec, actually. So I don't understand. In fact, Morgan Rogers would cost more than Xavi Simons. So it's not really a financial deal either. This is some people reckon that, no, we don't have the money to spend, right? If we didn't have the money to spend, we would have made it clear we're not going for Xavi Simons, sorry. But we've waited until now to just keep Leipzig literally on a carrot. Same with Xavi Simons, and then just go, no thanks. But we are looking at other targets. That means it's not a money problem. We've just made a decision to just not get Xavi Simons. I don't understand. I don't understand. So who is the other name? Now, I do want to pinpoint. Chelsea have done this before. Chelsea have done this before. And I'm about to remind you, and you might gonna, some of you will go, of course, yeah, I know. And some of you go, oh yeah. What happened when we were chasing Michael Olise? We were chasing. But that scenario was different. That scenario was like, no, we were attempting to go and get the player. We just didn't end up agreeing in the end, and then it just fell through. Right? And then he went off to Bayern Munich. Xavi Simons, we didn't even put a bid in. Like, we didn't put a bid. It's baffling, right? But then what did we do after that? After Michael Olise, what did we do? Deadline day, 2023. If you remember, let me remind you. Chelsea add Cole Palmer to list of talented defensive players being considered for final edition. Chelsea are set to open talk soon as they see Palmer as best solution. It remains to be seen Man City position on Palmer, but Chelsea really want him, right? That was the day before deadline day 2023. That came out. Are we going to try and pull off something similar now? My question to you, because I have no idea. Who? Is it Rodgers? Because that would be mad. I would take Rodgers 100%. And I think he does fit as well, because the whole point of bringing Xavi Simons in was to then have two 10s. The whole point of Xavi Simons was to add another layer of a system that we can use where Cole Palmer has someone next to him and we have two 10s, not just one. That was the whole point. We can't do that with Gittins, Garnacho, or any other player that we've got right now. Some might say João Pedro is the closest that we got. But João Pedro is going to be games we're just sticking him up front. The whole point of Xavi Simons was to have another layer on that left-hand side and a second 10 in order to play in that way. Morgan Rogers can fit that bill. But who else? If it's not going to be Fermin Lopez as he's not on his way, or maybe Fermin Lopez has his head turned last minute and we do get Fermin Lopez. Maybe it's Lopez. But now it's being made to seem like, no, those aren't the only options. There's another guy. Who's the other guy? We got 3 days left of the window. Who's the other guy? It can be done, but I find it crazy to go for weeks with Xavi Simons to then just go last minute, Now we're going to move to someone else, and we don't even know who. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let me know your thoughts. But Chelsea have really, really, really pulled off something here which just doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. If we just didn't want the player, we just should have made it clear time ago. And it's been made clear that on Xavi Simons' end and even Leipzig's end, they didn't even know that Chelsea would back out until literally hours ago. They were waiting for a call. We just didn't do it. Crazy. Baffling. Baffling. So, let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on that. Chelsea have only themselves to look at here. And they've made a decision. Not like they've even been outbidded or, no, we can't go that high. No, they've just gone, no. We just don't want to. Coast was clear for Tottenham. And fair play, this will be a really good signing for Tottenham. Tottenham are cooking now. Tottenham are actually cooking now. Kudus, Simons. Oh, man. Oh, man. I can't lie, that would have been nice. Kudus and Simons in our team, that would have been mental. Let me know your thoughts. Now, Nico Jackson, what's the latest on him? Here it is. Florian Plettenberg saying Bayern are still in advanced negotiations with Chelsea over a loan deal for Jackson. Discussions are currently focused on the structure, including the option to buy and the loan fee of up to 15 million euros. Bayern have also been informed that other clubs are attempting to hijack the planned transfer. However, Max Eberl continues to work on finalising the deal. The deal is on. Again, with this, we're just going to have to see what happens here, because we only want with an obligation, hands down with an obligation, not an option, an obligation. It has to be with an obligation. So, and some people might look and go, oh no, but maybe we needed Jackson to go in order to get Simons. If that was the case, we wouldn't be looking at anyone else. But apparently we're looking at others. We're looking at someone else now, some mystery guy. Who's the guy? We don't know. If it was money, we're not buying anyone. Like, done, we can't. If it was money and it's a case of, look, we don't have enough, our business is over. Our window is finished. We wouldn't be looking at Lopez. We wouldn't be looking at anyone else. We're done. Apparently, though, that's not the case. Matt Law, Fabrizio, all of these guys saying, focus is elsewhere. There could be another guy. Who's the other guy? God knows. So, let's see. Let's see. But put in your theories. Put in who you think it could be down below. Much appreciated. But Jackson, on his way, yeah. Again, Jackson to Bayern Munich should only be done with an obligation, not an option, because that would be tragic, honestly. If we just sent him out with an option to buy, that would be horrible. That would be absolutely horrible. So let's wait and see what happens. And to wrap up, even big news, like I said, people getting sacked. News out of Turkey. Unreal. Fenerbahce part ways with Jose Mourinho as Portuguese head coach won't continue at the club. The decision has been made after missing on qualification to the Champions League. Jose has left Fenerbahce. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. But the coast is clear for one move. And I think this is exactly what's going to happen because the stars have aligned here. And no, it's not Man United. Relax. It's not United. I don't think he'll go back to United. Not in this case. He knows who's running the club. Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest. Nuno, we know, is on the brink. And now that Jose's available, I think Marinakis is going to look at this and go, get rid of Nuno, get me Jose. And we all know that he's willing to spend. He's actually been spending pretty well for Nottingham Forest. It's a case of trying to build a team that will work for the manager. I think the owner doesn't have a problem with that. It just seems like him and Nuno have just butted heads and now they don't get on. Him and Jose, there's two really strong personalities. See how this one turns out. But it's a shame that it's not worked out at Fenerbahce. And it's a shame. And why? Because the whole point was to get to Champions League football. And they were really close. They didn't get the job done at home. They drew 0-0 to Benfica. They went to Benfica. They lost 1-0. And then they missed out. If they had won that, they would have been in yesterday's draw. In fact, it would have been mad. Fenerbahce could have been in Chelsea's group because Benfica are. That could have been Chelsea, Fenerbahce, Jose on the other bench coming back to the bridge. That would have been flipping crazy. considering that we've also got all the other teams we're playing against. That would have been mental. We would have had the league phase and the Champions League that would have been written in the stars. But Jose leaving Turkey now, and it's a shame as well because the chance to go and win the Turkish league was there on the plate, but they really wanted Champions League football, and it's not happened. So, I mean, he's exposed Turkish football to an extent, so mission accomplished on that end. But is he coming back to the Premier League? Is it going to be Forest? Could it also be West Ham? That would be mental. That would be mental. But I don't think so. I think Forest could be the place that he ends up going to. So let's see what happens there. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Much appreciated. I'll be here for video number 2. This video is a lot earlier than it normally is because things have kicked off left, right, and center this morning. So make sure you're here later on this evening. We'll get into video number 2, and I'll catch all of you then. Have a good one, people. Subscribe, notification bell on. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you later. In a bit, take care.